So Amazon did a big no-no, and now they're getting sued by the New Jersey Attorney General. So we're going to watch this video real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Amazon facing a new lawsuit over the drivers who bring packages to your door.
So for those who don't know, Amazon uses third-party companies that do the hiring of the drivers, and then Amazon cuts a deal with that company. So technically they work for Amazon, but they work for Amazon through this company. So you, as one of these contracting companies that hires drivers, you cannot survive as a company if you pay people too much. So it's a bit of a competition between these contracting companies to see who can pay their drivers the least, because then they have the least amount of overhead and therefore the most profit.
New Jersey is suing, accusing the company of illegally driving down the pay and working conditions of thousands of delivery drivers.
Today, my office is standing up for thousands of New Jersey delivery drivers who are being exploited every day by one of the world's biggest, richest corporations.
Honestly, shout out to her, because it's very rare that a government gets involved and sues the employer themselves. Usually it takes like centuries of, workers being mistreated for like one person to stand up. So the fact that she in her role is going to go after a company like that for a good reason too, that's very cool.
Those drivers show up in Amazon vans, wearing Amazon vests, carrying boxes with the Amazon logo. But most of them don't actually.
It's kind of like that thing where they say, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. This is not a duck. This is actually some contracted out poor Amazon worker that gets paid like 1/10 of what UPS gets paid.
Actually work for Amazon. They work for small contractors. Amazon says the allegations are not grounded in fact and argues its delivery partners are independent business owners who make their own decisions about hiring, fleet management, and capacity planning, and they choose whether to work with other companies besides Amazon.
Again, we're going to have these contractors, so we can't take any of the heat for treating people terribly, whereas this is fully in their control, in my opinion. And that's the sole reason that these contractors exist, is because of this, right? They want to be able to mistreat workers and then say, well, it's not us doing it, it's them,
But the lawsuit claims drivers for Amazon earn substantially less than those at the Postal Service, UPS, and FedEx. Amazon says authorities chose a press conference over a conversation and says it's confident it will win in court.
Oh, yeah, a conversation. Oh, a conversation. That's all that was. Oh, you should have just told us. The New Jersey Attorney General could have just knocked on the big Amazon house, and I'm sure Bezos would have come out and said, hey, you know what? We'll fix it. No problem. What? And then meanwhile, they said, but we're going to crush them in court. It's like, okay. This is ridiculous. And the funny thing about this lawsuit is it sort of highlights the difference between Amazon, for example, and UPS. UPS in the delivery driver space is the best company to work for. They have the Teamsters union that protects their drivers and is able to really back them when they need it. And the Teamsters union fights against these sort of micromanaging tactics that these employers try to use. Now, I'm sure UPS has some as well, but it's not at the same rate as Amazon, for example. But it highlights the importance of a union. Now, the issue with this Amazon situation is you can't really unionize because you work for one of these contracting companies, right? So if you have one contracting company and it's full of workers that are unionized, well, Amazon now has an incentive to sign a contract with a separate contracting company that doesn't have unionized work. So from a strategic perspective of Bezos and Amazon, I mean, it's solid, right? Because they can't say, hey, we're not mistreating our workers. That's the contracting company. Don't come after us. While at the same time, they're cutting deals with the contracting company that pays the least for their workers. And not to mention those flex Amazon workers. I mean, those people will show up to your house at like 4 a.m. with like no identifiable Amazon clothing. Like they just walk through your backyard, throw the box at the door. So Amazon, I mean, they utilize every system they can to get out of employing someone as a full-time worker, as a delivery driver. They got their contracted out employees. They got their part-time flex employees. You could just grab your own car, pick up some boxes, which isn't a bad thing, but it does bring up the conversation where we need lawsuits like this that can sort of help create some standards for these employees. Because as we get into a working world that will have a gig work and more commonly these part-time flex employees, and this is across the board, a lot of those laws that protect full-time workers don't really apply to, for example, Uber or Lyft. So to get that regulation in place and that standardization, You need these lawsuits. That's the only way you're going to do it. Very rarely are you going to have some politician come up and push to pass a bunch of laws for some, one segment of a company. It doesn't really happen. It's through lawsuits that these things happen. So this lawsuit's pretty important. Will it go anywhere? Who knows? But it does start the conversation. I personally believe that we are going to enter a job market that is far more gig-based and part-time employee-based and definitely contracted out. So anyway, what do you think about this? Go ahead and leave a comment below, share the video, like the video. It says Amazon doesn't even give their drivers restroom breaks. YouTube has a bunch of videos of Amazon drivers taking craps right in people's properties.